your business. Like you got to set up teams, you got to set up automations, systems, your body, your health. It's the same exact thing. There's so many sectors of health, breath work, biohacking, food, your chiropractor. This is what I want to do forever. I mean, I want to live a very long time. And if I can help people and wake people up from all the bull they fed us our whole lives, you only need to go to the gym once a week, just walk. Like it's all bull. Like they don't want you to live a long and happy, healthy life. They want to make money off you.
Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back to the pod. And in this episode, I have a special guest that is not only an amazing entrepreneur, but an awesome friend. And he's been able to grow his businesses in such a unique way by leveraging organic strategies, and has also used that to then go help hundreds of entrepreneurs with their health. So he's deep into biohacking, he's deep into scaling businesses. And so with that being said, please welcome to the show, my friend, Colin.
What's up, bro?
What's up, bro?
Thanks, man. Thanks for letting me shower in your house.
Yeah, sure thing, bro. Anytime. Mi casa, su casa.
Yeah, I like the espressos. I love the studio. Good time, bro.
Yeah, man, it's came together pretty well, dude. But for those that don't know, I mean, Colin and I, even though we've only actually met in person maybe 2 or 3 times, we've kept in touch digitally, and we've built this awesome relationship, awesome friendship. And it's just been the power of social media, the power of digital. And I know Colin, I mean, he's been just exploding. If you guys haven't followed him yet, you need to go give him a follow and follow his journey. But Colin, real quick, so people can actually have a little bit of backstory. What was the event that made you say, hey, I got to go all in on digital. I got to go build this digital network, these digital friendships. Like, what was it that made you actually make that shift and just embrace it? Because so many people are scared of it.
There was a couple events, but I guess the main thing was I was so in a hole in terms of debt, in terms of no sense of purpose. I was lost at a 9-to-5 job. I had horrible friends, horrible habits. I was just like, I'm not getting out of this shit unless I have some crazy change. And the only good and the only light that I saw in my world was online. Like there was no light around me. So I realized that I was the light. I had to become the light. And the only way to do that was to, pick a few people online that I admired and try to exemplify what they do through my habits and through my disciplines. So simple as like Gary Vaynerchuk teaching personal branding. Grant Cardone is very well-rounded, has his family first. I'm big on that. Ed Milet, he has got his private jet, marketing, sales. And I just picked like 4 of the Tony Robbins, picked up 4 of these people. And I was just like, I need to start doing what they do. What is it that all these guys do? After I read their books, I'm like, they all have personal brands. And I read Gary Vaynerchuk's book, Crush It. And it says, if you don't know what your brand is, document your journey and your journey will become your brand. So right then and there, I actually got drugged at a bar one night, and I got home and I had no money left in my bank account. It was actually on overdraft, minus $35. You probably remember that in college, getting those, calling your mom. So I call my mom, but I have a lump on my head. I have no idea what happened to me last night. My shirt's ripped. I have one shoe on, and I had to basically walk home. And I'm sitting in my room crying, looking at myself in the mirror. I'm like, I'm not this person. Like, how did I get here? What am I doing? I'm going to either keep going down this path and live a miserable existence, or I'm going to get on purpose and find my purpose and go fulfill that dream. And I knew right then and there I had to make a change. So called my mom. She sent me that money and got off the overdraft. And from that point on, I was 50 grand in debt. And I started documenting my journey every single day of just trying business, trying to become someone that I admired, going to the gym, posting positive quotes, talking about lessons I learned at Grant Cardone's real estate event that I attended. Anything, bro. Just started posting day after day after day. And the day I quit my job was the day I really committed to Instagram. And ever since that day, unless I intentionally don't post on Instagram for like, if I'm dropping a course or something and I take 24-hour break, like I've posted on Instagram every single day for 4.5 years since I quit my job.
Man, that's amazing. That's commitment number one, because it's uncomfortable, I'm sure, in the beginning, right? Like, how did you feel going through that?
I just played at my event. We have masterminds at my house every month. Last mastermind, we're sitting around the room with 20 people, high-level individuals. And I'm like, you guys want to see what it's like to first start your brand? Because I know a lot of you guys in here are freaking out right now. Just look at me. We pulled up my archive of my Instagram stories. Went all the way back to the first one. And my voice, I'm like, hey guys, how are you? Like trying to sound all deep and just being someone that like, I'm creating this avatar in my head of what I think people need to see of me. Yeah. And that's what everyone does. Like you have this like false sense of self in the beginning and you try to create this perfect character. And it's all bullshit. Like you just got to be yourself, and you can see my transformation. We watched for 20 minutes of like just a couple months of posting daily, and you just see how my confidence, you know, becomes better. You see how I kind of tap into who I really am, and I become comfortable with, you know, just being myself. And that was really cool to see. And everyone kind of got to laugh at first, and I was just super transparent with everyone. They're like, oh, okay. Like, maybe I can do this. Like, yeah, he looked like a dumbass at first, but now look at him, right? Yeah. You got to start.
Absolutely, man. I remember when I first started, man, I had a lamp, kind of like the ones that are behind the scenes here, and a Gorilla Pod, strapping my phone to it to actually start my content journey. And it was the weirdest content. I actually still have some of it up on my YouTube. But yeah, dude, it's like once you get through that first initial barrier, then digital is like your world. You can get any connection you want. You can go, you know, do any business that you really want. And it's just getting over that first fear.
It's incredible, man. I mean, I'm so grateful every day for my personal brand. It's my number one asset. Like you could literally take my house, you could take my cars, you could take all the money in my bank account. You could take everything. As long as I have my Instagram, my iPhone, I'll get it back in 3 years, 4 years. Like I could do it all over again.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. So tell me then about the journey that kind of moved off of just doing only Instagram, because you've opened multiple businesses, and I'm sure that stretching of just, you know, getting uncomfortable, we were talking about it earlier, but getting uncomfortable becomes the new addiction. It becomes the new standard. So if we want to fast forward to kind of how you've built and scaled through organic, you know, you've done, I think it was multiple 8 figures or over 8 figures. Yeah, 12 million just in organic. What made you kind of stretch, and how did you stretch yourself into those businesses to be able to do that? Because posting stories is cool, but you got to make offers, right? So how did you choose the businesses that you wanted to do, and how did that go?
That's a great question. And I think everyone messes this part up. You got to solve your own problems first, and then you can solve them for other people. So basically, I would just throw shit at the wall and try to have something stick with all my first businesses. I did an ATM business, a clothing company, a content creation company, real estate, wholesale. I tried everything and they all failed, but I documented all of it. Right. And so people were just watching me fail and fail and fail and fail. And like everyone's making fun of me. Yeah. And I just keep going. I just keep getting up, keep going. And I get myself in about $50,000 of debt through all those failed businesses, just taking out loans, credit cards, everything. And then next thing you know, now I'm in 50 grand of debt and I'm defaulting on loans and my credit gets wrecked. And so now I got another major problem. 5 failed businesses, no money, no job, credit's a mess. And so I sit down in my computer and I'm like, I gotta figure this one out. Like now I'm learning from Grant Cardone and Robert Kiyosaki that debt is good and you need good credit to buy real estate. Now I don't have that. So I really focused deep, and I spent, you know, a couple months just diving deep on YouTube, courses, reading about the Fair Credit Reporting Act. And after about 3 months, man, I was like, holy shit, like I just opened up Pandora's box to the debt game and credit, and like no one's doing this stuff right now. Yeah. And so I started talking about it, posting, same thing. I just started documenting what I was learning with credit, and everyone was just like, yo, what did you just say? How do you know that? Can you tell me more? What card is that? And I just started getting a ton of really warm engagement on credit. And I was like, I'm going to brand myself on this. At the time, really, Jeff Seckinger was doing it and At Credit was doing it. This is 2019.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, fuck, I'll be the third person. Like I'll go do credit. And so I just started making a ton of credit videos, free value, what makes up your FICO score, best travel cards. And I didn't create a course. I didn't even think about an offer. I just wanted to give people what I was learning because I knew it was valuable. And people were telling me they want more of it. So that was like the first seed. And I did this really right in the beginning. And most people screw this up. They try to just launch a sick course. They spend all this money on developing a course. They get a studio, they get a whole team behind it. They spend 40 grand and then they drop it and no one buys it because they haven't even built a brand around it.
Yeah, they haven't made the demand.
Exactly. People need to know, like, and trust you. So that's all I focused on, becoming known, liked, and trust. And a figure, when someone thinks of credit, they think of Colin. Credit Colin. It goes too. So I did that for a month. And then finally, after my DMs were flooded, like, hey, dude, do you have a course? Can you do a one-on-one? Can we get on a call? I'll pay you. I was like, it's time. It's time to drop something. Yeah. So on Black Friday in 2019, exactly 4 years ago, I dropped Credit Class, which was just a paid private Instagram page. I made no course. I had no knowledge of CRMs or anything. I just got on Instagram, I made a private page, and I slapped a price on it. In order to access it, it was $250, and you'll learn how to leverage credit, build income, and travel the world for free. And on that day, I made like $6,500 in sales on my first launch ever. And that was all through Zells and Venmos, like just straight cash, bro. And I was just like, I did it. And I took that money and I invested it right back into my brand, which was traveling, because credit gives you travel. So I started traveling the world, moved to Bali in January of 2021. And everything just started taking off, bro. And then I can kind of take you down the path of all the other businesses, because once again, it was just more problems that I started solving. And once again, I had a personal brand. So I was solving all my problems for myself and other people publicly, which most people don't do. You solve a major problem and you didn't document it. Now no one knows you solved the problem. Yeah. But when you have a personal brand and you're showing your daily life, you're constantly solving problems for people on a world stage. And so when a big enough problem is solved and there's demand for it, now you get to make money. So it's just like solve problems, make money, solve problems, make money. So the next problem was brought to my attention. And this was right around when we met at Grant Cardone's event. So the next problem that was all came to my attention was not necessarily one I had, but what other people had. E-commerce automation popped up. I know you're in that space as well. And basically what happened was they were like, hey, Colin, we need our clients to have a certain amount of business credit in order to get into these stores. Yeah. Do you want to partner with us? And you could refer people from your credit class to Amazon automation or Walmart automation. And I was like, well, can you give me a store first? So I was basically gifted a store, and my store did really well. And then I started basically advertising these stores to my already existing network and Instagram, and it just took fire. Like it just completely blew up. And in 2020, that was kind of like the hottest business. Yeah. And I walked into it by accident. I just had one of the key ingredients that you need for that business. So I started solving people's problems on, hey, you need 50 grand of credit to get a store? I'll help you. Get in my program, make money that way. I'll get you your credit. You'll learn how to travel hack. You'll get capital, and then you can go do it. Back to the company that I was working with, and then it'd give me commission. And then I started my own business with a partner through that, and we scaled that to over $10 million in 18 months. So that was like credit. Then e-com. From there, I transitioned out of e-com just because it wasn't a business I necessarily had passion for. It was more of something that was just, came to my lap. It was an amazing opportunity at the time. And then things started getting difficult on the back end with operations. And I wanted to do something that was in line with what I really was good at and what I enjoyed doing, which now is coaching, which is coaching people in health, fitness, and business. I've scaled multiple businesses, so I can coach people how to grow their personal brand, which I've done obviously for the past 4.5 years. I'm huge into biohacking. I'm huge into health. I used to be a degenerate. I used to be addicted to drugs and alcohol, doing all the wrong things, eating like shit, junk food. And then I've completely changed to the opposite. So I have every right to call people out on their shit because I was a shit bag at one point. So it's just, once again, solved another major problem. Used to be a piece of shit. Now I'm shredded. Right? So now I just help people bridge that gap.
Yeah, and he's more shredded in person, guys. If you see his Instagram stories, dude, this guy's like way less body fat than you think he's got. But no, seriously, let's talk about that, because that was something that, I struggled with for a very long time, which wasn't necessarily that I didn't know how to do fitness. Like when I first started, I was playing basketball, football, I did all the sports and all that. But when I got out of that, I went straight chicken and rice, just go lift a bunch of weights. And that was kind of the first thing that helped me develop habits. But dude, I just felt like such shit, dude. Yeah. Eating chicken rice every day with broccoli 4 times a day. That's all I knew how to do. And so then after doing the businesses, we travel a lot. You probably travel more than I do, but traveling a lot of different events, speaking, doing other business stuff and I always put it on the back burner. I was like, dude, I don't have time for the fitness stuff. It's going to require me to go back to the chicken and rice thing and go back into the gym all the time, spend 2 hours there, lifting heavy, doing all that stuff. Like just through working with you on that, dude, I've gained like 10 pounds. I'm on the peptides. I'm on all the stuff that we talked about with biohacking. So I want to dive into it. Sure. But that's been a big problem that, that you have solved for me too. So first off, thank you. But I think that's also the beauty of the personal brand too, is when you go through that journey, you can help people that are literally in the same shoes. You can attract the right clientele that have the money for your services. And then, dude, it just kind of blows up from there. So What was that thing for you that made you go into fitness really strong?
Well, man, it was staring me right down the face for the past 2 years. Like, everyone followed me for, yes, making money and traveling. I live a cool lifestyle. But most of the time, I would say 50% or more of my DMs were health-based. I have a great physique. Naturally, I'm blessed. Thank you, mom and dad. But I was very skinny. But then when I started lifting, I just, over the past 10 years of staying consistent in the gym, I gained a great physique. And that's always been a part of my habits. Like, even when I didn't do health and fitness coaching, I would still film the gym every single time I worked out. I call it sweat and story. You want to document your high discipline habits. So I was always doing my sweat and stories on Instagram, and people were, bro, dude, your physique's great. What protein do you use? What biohacking stuff are you doing? What peptides are you on? And I would always just help people with it. And once again, it reminded me of like the credit days,
right?
When people were like, yo, what credit card is that? What? And I'm like, fuck, like, this is what I need to do now. And I was like, and I always thought it was too easy. It's too simple. This can't be right. I can't make millions of dollars doing fitness coaching. There's no way. Like, I have a personal trainer. I know how much I pay him. He's only got 5 clients. Like, he's only making $10K a month. I want to make hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. I have to do some finance thing or something. And I'm just like, but wait a second. I was actually pretty lost with like what I wanted to do. I was doing the ERC stuff, which is kind of just like a one-off opportunity that has an end date. So I knew that wasn't going to keep going. I transitioned out of e-com. I was doing back to credit stuff. Didn't really have a passion for that anymore. And I was just like, damn, like I was really in a phase where like I lost my main source of income. This was when the markets crashed. Bitcoin was down. I had all my money in Bitcoin, watched my net worth suffer like 85%. I went from like the top of the world, in 2021 to, the end of 2022 feeling completely defeated. And I just was lost. And I just resorted back to health and mindset and my habits. And that was the only thing that worked for me. Like just sticking to my schedule and going towards my daily disciplines was like the only thing that kept me on track. And then I came into a mentor in Miami, Wes Watson. And I started following him, and I started like really looking into how much money he was making. And someone told me that he was making like $2 million a month doing business and fitness coaching.
With no sales team.
With zero sales team. And I was like, I love having no sales team. I hate having a team. Like, I just want to live life and make money. And so I was like, this sounds like right up my alley. So it was one of those things where it's like, I was buying a bunch of different courses. Again, I was like trying to learn trading. I literally didn't know what to do next. And like, I had money saved up, I had a lot of Bitcoin still, but it's like when you don't have active income, you feel lost. Yeah. And so I'm barely making active income, coming from hundreds of thousands a month to like 10K a month at one point. I was like, what the fuck? And so I just took a shot with Wes Watson. I bought his business coaching program, and he sparked back my passion up again for coaching. Because I was doing business coaching. I was teaching personal brand through my course, Leverage Lifestyle. Right. I was doing all this, but I wasn't doing it in the way that was like, a one-on-one setting, a group setting as well. I was always like a course, and I was making things so complicated. And when I just realized, I was like, holy shit, like all I have to do is just resort back to what has changed my life. What has changed my life? The gym has changed my life. My diet's changed my life. 10X Health has changed my life. The water I drink has changed my life. And I'm just going through all these simple things, and I'm realizing that no one is doing this shit. Yeah. And I'm just like, oh my God, this has been fucking knocking on my door for 2 years now, and I haven't done it yet. And so right then and there, I'm like, I'm going to become a coach. And I wrote high performance coach in my bio. And I started my coaching program, and it's so simple. It's literally, I have a group coaching program for fitness and mindset, and I have a one-on-one program for my business clients where I basically teach them how to scale their business through their personal brand. And that's it. And it's been fucking massive, bro. It's been a massive success for me already. I'm only like 2.5 months in. I've had 2 masterminds already. And I fully believe I can make 8 figures a year doing exactly what I love.
Yeah, man. And I think that's also to the point where you said earlier, where people overcomplicate it at a certain stage. And part of that is like the proximity to you, is like how close can someone get to you? What's the actual mechanism that they're buying into that created you? like it becomes this thing. And I know a lot of personal brands because I work with them at the agency and we're also personal brands. Like you get to that stage where it's like, what is the thing? And you can get into new offers or has to up the ante every time because we're just naturally high performance dudes. So I get that. It's awesome that you kind of went back to the roots and just looked in the mirror and was like, hey, these are the things that people want from me. These are the things that, you know, I'm great at and I love doing. And by result, I'm sure you're getting better clients. I'm sure you're getting just easier clients to work with because it's not in this construct that you had to make up, you know? So that's awesome, man.
Dude, people just want you for you. Like people follow Robert for Robert. People follow Colin for just me being myself. And like, I've done such a good job at documenting my whole journey that people just fell in love with my process. So by me being open of like, hey guys, I'm stuck right now, to then like, hey guys, I think I'm going to take on a couple fitness clients because like this is really what I love and I've changed my life through it. Like just the reaction from that, from my audience was like, dude, I'd love to be a client. And I'm just like, really? Like this is all you guys want? Like I'm just going to help you guys get fit and count your macros and get your mind right. Cause like I'm one of the most disciplined people I know. So like this stuff's easy for me. Like I've been locked in since wrestling in middle school. Like my dad has like formed this mindset and this discipline forever. Like this is just how I operate now. So this is second nature. And so I'm literally just like, holy shit. Like all I have to do is just do what I already do every day and I can make money from this. It's that simple. So just documenting the process is, once again, the personal brand is like the most important thing that I've ever created in my life. And I would not be here without it. And so I'm super grateful that I have it.
Yeah, absolutely, man. I think every single personal brand, after they've made their first, you know, push with the brand, they're always grateful for it. So it's grateful for the audience. We're grateful for you guys, especially if you're liking and subscribing this. Like we appreciate your guys' time.
Subscribe to Rob.
Hope you're getting value. Obviously bringing on some fire guests here. But Colin, let's talk about the biohacking side because this has been going super viral, not just as a topic, but you've been one of the leading kind of guys on this, at least in this younger kind of demo. So, so what has been that catalyst in the biohacking, and just kind of give us some knowledge on why it's so important to not necessarily shy away from biohacking. Sometimes that can be a scary word to people that maybe don't know if they can afford it or whatever. So like, why should they care about it? And what are some steps that they can take?
Yeah. So you guys don't have to make it, you don't have to buy $20,000 worth of superhuman protocol equipment and have red lights and exercise with oxygen machines and PMF mats. That stuff's great, but it's as simple as literally like waking up early, getting first light. So your circadian rhythm every single morning, if you're waking up and you're just looking at fluorescent lights all day and you're not getting outside in nature and you don't see the sun at all, you're really going to mess with the way, you know, your body operates. And so just by waking up with the sun, like I know, Robert, you could probably see it sometimes.
Oh yeah. Right. When I wake up in the morning, it comes right in. It's
exactly. Awesome. So like, that's why I love living in Brickell. And I always tried to manifest being able to have an apartment where I could see the sun come up and the sun come down from both my balconies. And that's what I had in my last one. And so if you can just do this one thing, wake up with the sun and watch it come up and sun gaze, and then go to sleep with the sun, like as in watch it go down, and then you know, get ready for bed after, that's going to reset your circadian rhythm right away. Also, when you're outside looking at the sun, if you could take your shoes off and you could ground with nature, that is also going to be incredible for you. So you basically are alkalizing your blood just by putting your feet in the grass, okay? Because there's negative charges, and basically it's going to separate. All your red blood cells are clumped up together, and so it's very hard for your cells to receive oxygen. But when you alkalize yourself, either on a PMF mat, or you go in the ocean and you're in the sand, or you're in the grass, now you're having that charge from the earth, and it's going to be able to separate your red blood cells, and it's going to make way more room for oxygen. So then the next step, this is basically doing a free superhuman protocol, by the way. So sun right in the morning, get your feet in the grass and ground, then do breath work. Okay. Breath work is completely free. You don't have to go to a crazy retreat and do holotropic breath work. You could just do Wim Hof. Okay. On your phone, you whip out YouTube, type in Wim Hof breath work, do 3 rounds of Wim Hof, sitting in the grass, preferably outside in nature, getting fresh air, and you will feel so unbelievable. You'll be operating from a state of abundance, a state of clarity. You will watch your stress levels just completely dissipate in the morning. Also, do not drink your coffee yet. earn your coffee. I like to say earn your coffee. Either drink your coffee after what we're talking about, your morning routine, or after the gym. Okay. And the reason why you want to do that is because your cortisol levels are spiked in the morning already from waking up. And then your adenosine levels are also spiked. So adenosine, think of it as like a tired molecule. So when you wake up, your tired molecule's at 100%, right? But 2 hours later, it's drained down to 0. So if you drink coffee when it's at 100%, it actually blocks off adenosine from being able to drain. So now your adenosine's still up. You're on coffee, you're feeling great, caffeinated. Coffee wears down. Why do you think people get the 2 p.m. crash? Because their adenosine's still up. It hasn't had time to drain. Now it's going to start to drain because the caffeine's out. And then people go for that second cup of coffee. So their adenosine's always spiked. So if you let it drain in the first 90 minutes of the day, you get your sunlight. Okay, let's go back to the superhuman protocol. You get your sunlight, you do your grounding, you do your breath work, and then you could do prayer, stretching, little journal. You're good to go. Now you're fully grounded, you're oxygenated. The presence of oxygen is the absence of disease, so you won't be getting sick as much, and you're just going to feel so much better. That's like one of the easiest free hacks that I could give you. A lot of people saw my Instagram. I just did with my neighbor. I like walked over and he was doing his morning routine outside. He's like 56 years old, just sitting in the grass. My neighbor, yeah. And I was filming him and he's like, hey, you want to join? And we did breath work together. He showed me his whole morning routine. He's got the sauna, the cold plunge.
Oh, he's on everything.
He's on everything. So it's incredible just seeing like, you know, there's old people out there doing exactly what we're doing because they want to extend their life, right? We want to live as long as possible. And after all that, what I recommend is you do some cold exposure. You don't need a cold plunge. If you're living somewhere cold, you're in luck. You can literally go jump in a lake. Yeah. It's free. Okay. So as cold as 40-degree water or colder, if you're jumping in a lake, it's probably gonna be colder, or a cold shower. That will work too. What cold exposure does is it actually pushes oxygen through all of your organs. So like when you have all the oxygen from breath work stored up, now you're able to push from the cold water. It's pushing the oxygen through all of your cells, through all your organs, your kidney, your liver, your spleen, up to your brain. And when the brain is flooded with oxygen, not only is that amazing for your circulation, for energy, but now your dopamine is going to be spiked by 200% for the rest of the day. So for the next 4 hours after you get cold exposure, you are now experiencing a 200% increase in dopamine whenever you're doing something pleasurable. So like if you go after and you close a deal and you have a great sales call, the gratitude and the emotions and the feeling just from doing the cold plunge is now setting you up for the rest of your day. So it's like these little things that in the moment are not fun, right? Like when you wake up, the first thing you want to do is probably roll back into bed or, you know, grab that cup of coffee. But I'm telling you now to disregard all that stuff, push it off a little bit and do these daily non-negotiables. Just set this stuff and make sure that you do it no matter what your mind is telling you. Once you do it so many times, you're going to get to the point where your muscles and your body are just moving into it. Your mind's telling you no, but then all of a sudden you're already starting to breathe. And that's how I've gotten to. Like I've gotten to the point where it always gets done. Like there's just no ifs, ands, or buts. Even if I have an early flight or I'm traveling, I'll do fucking Wim Hof in the car ride in the Uber on the way there. I do it in the plane. I post in the plane. Gary told me to do this like 2 years ago.
Is it legit in the plane to actually do it then? Because I saw the no eating thing in the plane, but Wim Hof in the plane?
Yeah, Wim Hof in the... So the rule is anytime you get up to go to the bathroom, if you get on an airplane, everyone looks like they're in a morgue. They're dead on their seat. They're drinking their Bloody Marys. They're passed out. They're drooling on themselves. It's horrible. The elevation, how high you are, when you're drinking alcohol and that food, they have to actually increase the salt in the food by like 1,000% because our taste buds change at that elevation. So in the steak and all the gourmet meals on first class, they're pumping that shit with salt. And it's ionized salt. It's not the good salt. It's like the shitty salt. And now you're eating all that salt, getting more dehydrated, right? And you can't even tell. You don't know this stuff. So what we like to do, and what Gary says too, is you fast on the airplanes. You fast on the airplanes. You take your hydrogen water, your Echo hydrogen machine. You're fasted, and then you're doing Wim Hof every time you go to the bathroom. So like you're all hyped up and energized. in a fasted state, you're doing Wim Hof and 20 air squats in the bathroom anytime you have to go. I just don't care anymore. It's so funny. Like, sir. Dude, so we got on the plane this last time. This was coming home from Mexico last week. And we're sitting on the runway. And before we take off, I'm like, I got to go to the bathroom. And so as I get in there, now the captain's like, okay, now we can take off. And they're waiting for me. And I'm in there doing my air squats. And I can hear them on the loudspeaker. And I know they're all sitting in the cabin right next to me. And I'm just going, and you could hear everything for sure. And I just shut the door, come out. I'm like, let's go.
Like, no one can use that bathroom anymore.
What is happening there? So yeah, dude, you just got to do the opposite of what everyone else does. And you will live such a good life. Like, they want you to sit in your chair and they want you to pass out, watch Netflix, and drink your cocktail. Like, let's do the opposite.
Yeah. Yeah, be super loud in the bathroom when you go, doing those air squats, the Wim Hof. It's going to freak people out, but a lot of health benefits with it, man. Now
it's all good for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So one thing too, I didn't want to overlook, we were talking before the pod, and you would let me know that Celsiuses, dude, are bad. And I've been drinking these for quite a while.
Cyanocobalamin is what it's called. I think I pronounced that right. So it's a man-made vitamin B. So most people, they're like, dude, look, Celsius is great. There's no sugar. There's vitamin B. Look up the vitamin B that's in Celsius. It's a form of cyanide. Okay. So it's basically like rocket fuel that you guys are drinking. Cyanide is a poisonous substance that humans cannot break down. They should not be, ingesting cyanide. It's horrible for you. So when I walked in, Robert's like, you want a Celsius? I was like, absolutely not, bro. There's cyanide in there. And so yeah, most people, bro, are just so oblivious to what they're putting in their body. And the mainstream media makes everything, and influencers are all these chicks and all these dudes are sponsored by Celsius, ripping Celsius. The Nelk boys are doing it. And dude, they have no idea what they're doing. So just be super aware, stick to all natural, whole foods. I'm on an animal-based diet. It's what works well for me. Some people only eat vegetables. I'm cool with that too. Like, whatever works with your blood type. You need to analyze everything. You should be tracking your blood. You should get a blood test. You should get a gene test. You should know what your genetic breaks are. Robert, he became a fitness client. I'm like, yo, the first thing I want you to do, bro, is get your 74 biomarkers checked on your blood, which he did. I had a nurse come to his house, and then get your gene test done. So you can find your 5 genes and see what the gene breaks are. And then they can supplement you for your gene breaks so that you can actually methylate properly and feel like a normal person. When you lay down on your pillow and you're compartmentalizing things in your head before you fall asleep, you're getting that crazy anxiety. You're waking up in the middle of the night thinking about the business deal you got to do. That's actually not your external environment. That's happening because your genes are broken and you can't methylate properly. You're not able to feel normal. So when you how good do you feel after taking these compounds for a couple weeks?
Dude, so I've been in this whole thing for about 6 weeks from start to finish with the test, the change in diet, because actually animal didn't work for me. Apparently it just didn't work for my liver and all that. But I've been feeling way better. Like that late night stress or whatever, that's been going away. My blood levels were freaking perfect. My cortisol levels dropped. I'm at like 10 on the scale or whatever, which is like super low considering, all the businesses that I run and all that. That was a big indicator. And then, dude, I've gained a lot of weight and muscle, which has been great. But then I did one of the blood dumps, and dude, as soon as I did that, I feel like everything just came together because I just got rid of all my motor oil blood and just got reset. So highly recommend, again, guys, like taking health super serious. I put it off for a long time. Colin's been the man. I've been connected to a lot of different people through him to actually optimize my health. And we're only as good as how we show up for our teams, our family, and our relationships. So it makes you a better person and better person for your group. So get on it.
100%. So yeah, I would definitely start analyzing, like I said, your gene test, your blood test. Then you can supplement for exactly what you need, because as Robert said, everyone's different. Maybe the animal-based diet doesn't work for him. Maybe he needs some veggies. That's fine. You won't know until you start measuring these things, okay? Track your sleep. Okay, everything should be tracked. And if you're not tracking it, how are you going to know how messed up you are? And it goes even deeper. Like for me, for example, I have a crooked spine. And I kind of knew this early on. I got seen in the nurse when I was in middle school. They told my mom, and we kind of just disregarded it. And then I just went recently, I got connected by random chance to a chiropractor think it was just God's plan, him telling me like, hey, you need to start working on this because your spine's gonna be affected, you know, when you get older. The only reason I don't feel the effects or have back pain right now is because I have so much muscle surrounding my spine, supporting it. But as soon as that muscle dissipates, which I don't think it ever will because I'm gonna work out until I'm dead, you know, I would have some serious spinal pain and, you know, some negative consequences. So now I went to a chiropractor and I got an x-ray, and this is something completely untapped that I had no idea that I needed to focus on. Your spine is literally the connection to all of your nerves in your nervous system. So like if your spine is scraping together on, you know, some of your spinal, what are those called? Like L.
Yeah, the different vertebrae with the, yeah.
They could be pinching one of your nerves. Now you're not able to breathe correctly. Now you have fluid in one of your kneecaps, all from your spine. So now I'm going and making this a priority. My guy lives like 35 minutes away. Can't find a good one in Miami, but I'm going and getting adjusted every other day now. And this is something huge that I wasn't aware of. Like my blood's perfect. I'm biohacker. I feel fucking amazing. But if my spine's messed up, I'm not going to be able to be walking around at 95 years old.
Yeah.
So there's so much that you have to work on, like your health, just like your business. Like you got to set up teams, you got to set up automations, systems, your body, your health. It's the same exact thing. And so many people are just going to the gym and they think that's enough. Yeah. Dude, it goes so deep. Like if you really get into this stuff, there's so many sectors of health, breath work, biohacking, food, your chiropractor. It's crazy. So it's such a fun journey, and this is what I want to do forever. I mean, I want to live a very long time, and if I can help people and wake people up from all the bullshit they fed us our whole lives on how you should be eating, you know, you only need to go to the gym once a week, just walk, like it's all bullshit. Like they don't want you to live a long and happy, healthy life. They want to make money off you. So I want to change that.
Awesome, man. Love that. Love that. Now, where can they find you if they want to follow your journey? Where can they find you if they want to even get involved in the coaching that you do on the fitness side? And how can they get more close to you? And what
just Colin Yurcisin on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, all platforms.
We'll link it in the description.
Yeah, and then ColinYurcisin.com is my website, and that's where you'll find all my coaching stuff. We're actually launching Colin supplements, like what I take in a day. I don't have my own line yet. We'll be building that soon, but basically just everything that I take, like the cold plunge I use, the sauna I use, the supplements I take, 10X Health. If you want to take the stuff I'm talking about, you can find it all there.
Awesome, man. Well, Colin, thanks for hopping on. I think we dropped a lot of biohacking bombs and business bombs, man. So appreciate your time, appreciate you sharing, appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Hell yeah, bro. Appreciate you, man. That was great.
Absolutely. So with that said, guys, go ahead and like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next episode.
Peace.
Peace.